Welcome back to the episode of Unranked Podcast. Coming to you all today. Tough, brutal loss by our Lions. Having the one seed, first round bye. Definitely a shock to us and the entire fan base how they went out this past Saturday night. So we'll definitely dive in and talk a little bit about that. And then we'll transition onto our Detroit Pistons. We've been playing great. Had a nice victory on MLK Day to start the week off. They're currently up 21 points right now on the Hawks. Cade picking up steam was on TNT, getting a lot of attention for a potential All Star, being a potential All Star this year. But yeah, we'll dive into all that over here the next 30, 40 minutes. But I'm going to kick it off to you, E. Yeah, just want to see your thoughts on how the Lions game went on Saturday so we can just get over it and just turn
Get
that,
over it. Get
turn
it.
that page.
No, go ahead and turn the page. No, I agree. I mean, no other way to put it other than a devastating loss. Obviously we've been through the gauntlet with this team, dating back to early childhood. So it was great just to see them rolling to the level they have. A few things we mentioned over I would say the last two seasons was kind of maybe going ahead of schedule last year, making it all the way to the championship game. And then we all had expectations that we would go upon that, take that next leapfrog up until right into the Super Bowl, potentially winning the Super Bowl. I know that was everybody's first and main goal. So, this just shows you how fickle it all it is, how truly tough it is to win that Super Bowl. Another thing we mentioned, without getting too much in the weeds of the game and what we could have did different, could have not did different. Another major issue that just kind of came across was when we peaked. I know we kind of talked about that a couple of times this year. In late October, early November, where literally could sit our starting offense. Mid third quarter, we're up 45-10 or whatever it is. Doing like college football type scores. Really moving the rock. We kind of talked about, are we peaking too early? Are we playing our best football now? We always thought that we would be able to return it back on. Not that we have been playing bad football. You don't play very many bad snaps if you're 15-2. But we all kind of thought maybe they could during the playoffs we could gear it up to another level like we were throughout the regular season. We all kind of thought we had to because that defense was so decimated with injuries.
Yeah.
From Hutch, Malik McNeil, Carlton Davis, you name it, and players we had out there were playing banged up, so I don't know how many guys on that team were truly 100%. And, all that being said, a very tough loss. And you know, I do think we should look at the season for what it was. I think we had a very successful regular season. Can be happy about that, but at the end of the day, completely failed on the mission, and that's to make some noise in the playoffs. And kind of dive into some of the plays that really stick out to me. Right off rip, getting the ball, having Montgomery as a starter. Gibbs been one of the top five hottest players in the last couple of weeks in NFL. Hot hand. You give him the ball, special things are happening. Montgomery hasn't played since mid-December, whatever that might have been. And you kind of bring him out there and the offense just falls flat. You go out, they go right down the field on us. We come back. I think we get a field goal out of it, maybe. And from there, that third down conversion where we dropped empty set, just golf back there by itself when we
Yeah.
have two of the best running backs in the league. And one of the better offensive lines, and we're out air raiding it like
Five wide.
like we're Texas Tech in the mid 2000s or something. It's kind of it was very bizarre to me, and it cost us heavily. It gave the ball up in prime position, got fumbled, potentially got in his head that he should have happy feet the rest of the game. Started selling passes, and then a couple of things that I'll just have to take up too much more time. But right before half, I'm sitting there with my dad and my brothers, and we're watching the game. And okay, I think it was what was it going into half? 21, 28, 20,
Uh,
28,
is
21 or 20.
yeah, 28. It was like 28, 21, something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And all that, no,
31,
31,
21.
31, 21.
Yep.
And 31, 21, they get the ball after half. We're driving down, and I thought that was absolute golf as a veteran quarterback, Ben Johnson as a veteran play caller, Dan Campbell, whoever it is, needed to say, we have to come away with points on this drive. They are clearly moving the ball. We're having no success on stopping them. When in doubt, throw it to the stands, throw it to me out here on the sideline. We have to get this field goal out of here at bare minimum. And if that would have happened, we got that stop coming out of half. There's a completely different game. So I kind of think those are some of the bigger key moments where I felt like we went out of character. We did something we normally wouldn't do. And whether that's from a play cost perspective or whether golf pushing the issue, getting baited by our dear Sanders still, you know, it,
Man,
and lastly, I would say that JMO debacle of a play when we had him
yeah.
try to come around like he's Antoine Randall or something. It was very,
Just bad awareness.
yeah, bad awareness, bad
If you know, like
situation.
JMO,
Ball.
like love JMO, you can't trust him to
No,
not throw that ball. And
yeah,
like you
he's
can't
letting it
blame him
rip.
either. Is you down 10? You know what I'm saying? Like you want to try to make a play. And yeah.
No, no, I agree. And real quick, please continue. But I read that he hadn't thrown a pass on record since high school or since middle school. So he might have threw one in middle school. He had no records, no recorded passes in high school, no recorded passes in college.
Yeah. So he was just
We
throwing them
talking
in
about a guy that
practice
might have
and
thrown a football when he was like 13 or 14. So I mean,
yeah.
it's and then you put him in one of the biggest moments of any of their careers, and it's not shocking what happened. So that's kind of the recap of all of it, and it was just a very shitty way to end a great season.
hmm Yeah, no, you echo a lot of that. There ain't really much to like, yeah, this is what it is. I mean, I think, like I told you before we got on here, I've always been, you know, build a team from the inside out. We got a top three O line in the league. In my opinion, the best O line in the league. I don't know why. Like you heard all week about how they had the worst rush defense in the league, and why we didn't like lean into that. And I think the disappointing thing is like, is the offense reading the room? Like I we talked about it all the time on here how like we both sincerely felt like as long as the offense plays clean, nobody can beat us, even though our defense isn't that great. Like, and you would think that like Ben Johnson, even Goff, like kind of understanding like our defense is leaking oil. I can't put this ball out here in harm's way and put them in more tough situations. That's just pretty much what happened, man. I just feel like we played right into their hands. I don't know what they are ranked in pass defense. They look pretty good. And they picked us
Right.
off 4 times. Shout out Mikey Sanders still. He came back to the crib and
Sure
got him a
enough.
couple. He had the Buffs on in the locker room, had Kevin Durant in the background with him. Yeah, he showed up and showed out. But yeah, I mean, I think it's just disappointing because I felt like that should have been a game where we should have been running the ball, controlling the clock. I think that 3rd and 1 will probably haunt me more than the 4th and 2 we ran with Amon St. Brown out in San Fran last year. Like just bad awareness. And I think that's one of those things I ain't gonna sit here and say, glad Ben Johnson gone. I just think there was a lot of times the like he just got a little too pretty with it.
Yeah.
Just got a little, just wouldn't lean into, what we do as a team. And I think we run to pass. I mean, we've always been on big run the ball, play action, and then working in, the other parts of the passing game. So yeah, I think it's just disappointing in that sense to where I feel like we just played, for whatever reason, played right into the Commanders' hands. It could have been like, not taking them seriously. Rookie
Yeah, I
quarterback
don't
thinking
know if
how,
we did. I'll be honest. I think from a fan base standpoint, I think we kind of thought we would roll them. We
yeah,
both talking kind of greasy on here, rolled ourselves back a little bit to not be as disrespectful. And I think the team didn't necessarily. They came out slightly flat. I don't know if that's due to the bye. I don't know if that's due to just preparation or whatever what that might be, but they didn't look like the same team that were they the Commanders, I almost call them the Redskins. The Commanders look like they were hungry for a Super Bowl. We look
yeah,
like, we were not sure what time the dance was. It was kind of
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
so.
yeah, we caught a team that was hot, picked up steam, came in there. Yeah, no. Like I said, I was confident the way I watched them play the Bucks and how they literally like were gifted that win, and then the way that we lost to the Bucks early in the year, but we literally outgained them by like 500 yards or
Yeah,
damn
the
near. It
crazy
was really
yeah,
like
42,
250.
46 or something. Yeah,
We I think we lost to them like 24-18 or something crazy like that. Went like 1 of 5 in the red zone, whatever. But like I had a feeling we would just be able to dominate the Commanders in similar fashion. But yeah, that and I think,
Buffs. Yeah.
yeah, and the injuries, I mean,
I
that
said Buffalo. I thought you said Buffalo. Might be. Might be. I thought
oh
you
no,
said.
you good.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and the injuries, I mean, I think it just kind of came to roost finally. Like the pass rush was pretty much non-existent. Zadarius, good player, but like he needs somebody else on the other side to really like, do his thing. We didn't have Lee McNeil in the middle no more.
Yeah.
I think it just got to be a little too much. Lost to Meek Robertson 5 plays into the game, five, like
Huge,
probably
huge
even
blow.
less than that. Yeah, like, a guy that just got done locking up Justin Jefferson one-on-one, for an entire game. Probably was one of our best corners at the time, ended up losing him. So just tough blow, tough blow. And I mean, but I say at the end of the day, man, I think as a fan, you're just proud. They had all these injuries. It could have ended up being, wheels could have fell off, finished 10-7, 11-6, could have lost the winner take all game to end the season. Sunday night, everybody watching. But they had more than enough, to be able to beat some of these teams still. I think that's what hurts the most is like
Yeah.
we had enough to at least get there to the Super Bowl with help on the way, potentially, but came up short. And yeah, I mean, at this point, it's like hell. We must need a wild card spot.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
You
keep
know,
us in the hungry spot.
yeah, like,
Uh,
yeah. So
no, I agree,
yeah,
and I wonder if obviously you don't ever wish losses upon your team, but I wonder if we would have been slightly more battle tested. Obviously, we maybe not had the number one seed, which I understand how we wanted that, but maybe if we had been lost a few more games, been slightly more battle tested, the team would have been used to playing from behind a little more, being a little more
yeah,
adverse. I think for so much of the season we were just rolling and things were just happening. We would,
the game
whatever it
feel
was,
like
we
years
would get that.
ago.
Yeah, we would just get that right play at the right time. We would whatever that was, and this just wasn't our day for whatever reason. And obviously tip your hat to them. They had a pretty good game plan. But I ultimately think what does suck about it, which is a hard pill to swallow, is I do think it was a lot of self-inflicted. From the horrible play calls to golf. I'm not ready to, as some other people say, I'm not ready to trade golf away, but I think maybe it's knowing, what he is and really leaning into it. On those third downs, you have to put that ball in Jahmyr Gibbs' hand, put the ball in Montgomery's hand.
Yeah,
We have to maybe reiterate to him, we can't throw a pick when we're on the 40-yard line with a minute and a half to go down 10. We
yeah,
we we got to make sure we get some points out of here and just really um, you know, reevaluating all that. So I do have one question for you, and I kind of started this while we're on here. um couple to your question here, but do you think it's a systematic issue as far as you can't win a Super Bowl with golf, or everything has to be perfect around him in order for that to happen? And slash do you see like a larger issue with the Ben Johnson leaving, Aaron Glenn leaving? Kind of, what are your thoughts as far as that goes?
yeah. I think when it comes to golf, like I don't think things need necessarily be perfect. I think he showed us this year, playing with a pretty depleted defense. Did a good job of protecting the football, for the most part, except for the Houston game where he threw 5 picks. I think he only threw like 9 beside, in the regular season,
Yeah, yeah,
total. So no, I don't. Yeah, I think it's just a play calling issue. And I don't know if it's something he could have checked into. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like, I think that's what kills me more than anything is like you see 6 at the line of scrimmage. We only got 5 wide, so that kind of threw me off.
yep,
And I don't know. And I will say with that too, this might be kind of a hot take, but I do think sometimes like some of these relationships kind of run their course. Ben Johnson pretty much told people last year when they was on a plane to Washington, like, don't come get me.
yeah,
Like, I'm good. And there's been times where we've been rolling so much, but I've told you before, there's just times where I just feel like we get a little too pretty, a little too cute. And I think
yes,
getting a little too pretty, a little too cute, it came to bite us. It bit us in an NFC championship game. We were calling plays that were just a little too cute. We had Jahmyr Gibbs in. We probably should have had Montgomery in. We had St. Brown at the running back position on a 4th and 2.
yeah,
Like, running like a zone, a sweep play. Like there's just certain things where I think you just need to like not overthink it
Yeah.
and get the job done. So I
Put
won't.
helmet on helmet and give it to one of the best backs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I think Goff can get it done. Probably kind of nice for the Jared Goff chance to stop for a little while. I think he might have lost. That might be might stop
No,
being a
it's time
thing.
for them to stop. I want them to stop
Yeah,
till we hit a Super Bowl. We
for
don't.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
No, I was
100%.
just wondering about that, and then so and I have another question after this. Then we kind of go. If you have anything else on the lines, we can talk about it. But I think it's a good bow tie on it all. But I
Yeah.
don't. I think you can win with golf. I we honestly, it definitely makes me a little more nervous that you don't want to be a playoff golf to start. You don't want them to come around and just how fully loaded those Rams teams were all those years and how they were in very
Yeah.
similar position. They were rolling, 13-4, 14-2, 14-3 type seasons, and they felt
He comes
that
up
they had to go
small.
get Stafford to get the job and get him over the hump. So that does kind of scare me a little bit where, you know, potentially maybe he does crack when the lights are the brightest or those type of things. I'm not saying it's 100%, but if you do know that you have to, like you said, use the play calling to make that work. As far as Ben Johnson goes, obviously he's a very creative guy. I think with the offensive line we have, with the unit we have, you can get somebody doing something very similar, especially considering somebody that could not be as pretty, not try to be the smartest guy in the room, and just
Hmm.
give the ball to your bell cow and let him get the job
I want
done.
to. Yeah, I want somebody that'll play to our strengths, run the
Yes.
ball. I'd love this to be like more 60-40. I mean, obviously going to play to what the defense is giving you, but like I just feel like we should have took a page out of Michigan's book and just controlled the clock
Yep.
and that ball. I would have loved to see
That's another
50.
thing they did. I mean, they were going on such long drives. Them boys
Yeah,
were
yeah, they're just going up and down the field.
systematic, long drive, just wearing that defense
Yeah, I
out.
mean, it'd be
Yeah,
2nd and 4, 3rd and 1, first down. Second
yeah,
and six, third
yeah,
and two, first down.
yeah,
2nd and 3, 3rd and 4, 4th and 1, first
yeah.
down.
And
Like
they
they
just,
only they only didn't convert one because like they brought in Mariota and messed the play up, and we
yeah,
just
that
kind
was a
of
crazy play.
I
That,
didn't
yeah,
understand what happened there at all. But
no, yeah, that we should end up with that ball somehow. They were trying to do some Ben Johnson type shit, but
for sure,
um,
yeah,
and then the last thing I would say is way too early predictions. Way too
Super
early
Bowl.
predictions. But what is your floor? What's your ceiling for the Lions next year?
I think the floor. I think the floor would be 9-8, 10-7, kind of bottom out. Maybe, sneak and get the 6, 7 seed, which I wouldn't think is bad. I think we need to kind of be, sneaking up on people to be a little bit more effective. I don't know. That's kind of like a feeling I have, kind of based on this season turned out. And I would say ceiling, I still think we in the mix for the Super Bowl. Um, I,
Okay.
I really do. I mean, I feel like obviously everybody gets a chance to be better and get better that following year and everything. I still think we have the top three roster in the NFC. I think we got a top five roster in the
Yeah,
NFL.
yeah,
We're gonna have an opportunity to get everybody back and just pray that we don't have to put 18 guys on IR again this year. Because if we only had to put like 11 or 10, I think we'd still be playing,
yeah.
going into this week. So what you think?
No, I agree. Actually, I pretty much agree with you. I think if you're going to build this lasting, solid franchise and be here to stay, you got to go playoff back to back to back to back. Year in and year out. Think this a la the Steelers or somebody like that.
Yeah.
Man, so I agree. Getting them playoffs another time, that should be the bare
Hmm.
minimum.
We're still the
Um,
best in the division.
yeah, and then obviously you're fighting to win a game from there. But I think bare minimum, the floor should be to get in. With the roster we have up, I think we have like top five available cap space.
57
Uh,
million.
yeah, let Brad Holmes cook in the playoff or in the draft. I mean, and
Yeah.
uh, and go from there. Turn around ceiling. I think pretty similar to what we were this year. And then hopefully we have a better end to the season as far as make a little more noise in the playoffs. That's what it's all about. And I think that rebounding off a devastating, being ahead of schedule last year, getting complete letdown this year. I think next year it's time to come back and try to gel it together, not too high, not too low, and look to peak heading into right about now. Yeah,
Yeah.
no,
No, for
I agree.
sure.
It's all there for the taking, man. It's just
Hundred
if
percent.
football is a tough sport, like you said, the autumn injuries is catastrophic. It's you
Yeah,
know,
I mean that. Yeah, I mean that's one of those things somebody was saying. Like that could be the biggest thief of joy for a season is like guys just becoming unavailable, no fault of their own. I
yeah,
mean, how many of those injuries are just freak injuries? Hutchins broke his leg running into McNeil. Carlton Davis, I didn't know he broke his jaw. We just heard that he broke his jaw. Like I
no,
never heard anybody break their jaw in
in a
football
helmet.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
agree.
Meek Robinson, who's watched Jack Campbell literally throw his pads right into his arm, and now he got a broken arm. Like it was just so fluke across the board. So I can't imagine that happening again. And I do think we can win the division again next year. Probably 11-6, 12-5. We're gonna kick the Bears' ass up and down. I can already see that coming. We're gonna beat the shit out of the Bears. Like that's already gonna happen next year twice. I still think the division is ours for the taking. And I think I think a lot of guys on that team will take this personal. Hutch about to,
Yeah,
he
he's gonna be on
might,
fire
he
next year.
probably already outside like Wolverine for real, fucking cutting down trees and
Yeah,
and everything, do whatever he need to do to get back.
real
So
life Paul Bunyan. Yeah,
yeah, seriously. So yeah, no, it's a tough tough loss, tough into the season. But had some fun. I mean, 15-2, one of the best records in in Lions history, back-to-back division champs. I mean, we didn't. This is stuff we dreamed of. We witnessed almost 16 season.
yeah.
So I'm
No,
pissed,
that's
but
in our lifetime. No, you ain't lying about that. And I think um 15-2 was just I never would have thought we could see that.
yeah,
I never once dreamed of stuff like that. And so I agree with you on that. And but I would say every playoff win feels like a 15-2 season. It's kind of a
for real.
15-2 season in one setting. So
Yeah,
that's where the real success comes, where you're talking to the nation. Everybody's talking about you. That's when you become, Jameer Gibbs, that one little playoff uh about this week. I mean, I've seen people already comparing him to Barry, already comparing him, so I think that's when you really make a
but that
big.
legacy.
Yeah, yep, yeah. It's a great way to summarize it. Just a legacy, and no, I'm ready for it. And yeah, so I think the departures are going to have a little bit of rattling, but I think we can get the job done. I do just want to have this on record. I already forgot it, but record with Ben Johnson and without Ben Johnson is night and day. So I do think we got to have somebody in there that can
Yeah,
choreograph that offense and kind of take that off Dan Campbell's plate.
for
So
sure. Yeah,
yeah,
I think we got some. I mean, yeah, I think it would be great for us to have a guy that has some experience. We hear about Scotty Montgomery, the associate head coach, running back coach,
yeah,
Tanner Engstrand, he was like QB coach, would install the game plan week to week.
yeah.
Um,
Like
yeah, but I'd be curious to see who they're able to nab outside because I did hear that like Rod Wood ain't really looking to pay assistants a whole lot of money, even though he was okay with raising them ticket prices the way that he was.
yeah.
But that's a conversation
Not here nor there.
other
Yeah,
day because one of the big things I think is a lot of them fans was gone 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. So you got a lot of
MC.
people in there that can just afford to go, but probably don't care to go as much as you or I,
Yeah,
but we don't want to pay seven, $800, $900 for it either.
no,
So
that's fair.
we'll see what happens when the dust settles. I think, I believe in Dan Campbell. I believe in Brad Holmes. I think as long as they are here, the talent gonna be on the team, the culture gonna be on the culture gonna be the culture. And I think they're gonna do a good job of finding guys that can step in and we pick up where we left off. Might be a little turbulent, just kind of start the season off, but I think we got the guys to figure it out.
Yeah,
And it might be
right.
something too, even with the defense, where like a lot of guys didn't like how Aaron Glenn called the defense. A lot of man coverage, zero blitz, getting up a lot of yards, but we kind of clamped things down in the red zone. Maybe we can get a
20.
guy that can run a little more shell coverage. You know what I'm saying? Just like
Yeah,
find a
just
way
mix
to
it up a bit
complement the offense a little bit better. So we'll see what happens. But
for sure.
yeah, I believe in
No, I'm
them.
ready. We got a long journey. I mean, not to get into this, but we got some draft preparation,
It's like
free
230
agency. We got some money
days.
to spend. Yeah, so I think we
Yeah,
got obviously the football season never really ends. It's just what phase you're in. So
for sure.
and then we can hop over to the Pistons, but I did look at the mock draft today, and they had us getting Jack Sawyer.
Yeah, that's dead. That's so dead.
Yeah, but no. And on to them Pistons. I just checked. Still kind of had this in hand. I think last time I checked, it was 97-81. So I think these Pistons, Detroit Pistons, are making some noise. JB Bickerstaff got them looking right. Cade got them looking right. Potential All Star loading here. Kind of. What are your more thoughts about the Pistons sitting here at 22-21? Um, you know,
Yeah,
I personally think maybe all in the championship, sky's the limit. I could easily see them winning a round in the playoffs. I could easily see them making some noise. So kind of what are your general thoughts on what they got going on, and how do you feel about it?
yeah, I'm ecstatic. Could finally watch them. Shout out, knock on wood, but shout out FanDuel Sportsbook. Worked like a charm.
Yeah,
Monday. Yeah, because it was great watching Monday, but it was also kind of like, damn, we don't even get our MLK Day spot on TNT no more. They just got us
mm,
playing at 2:30 on a Monday or on
yeah,
MLK Day. But no, I mean it was great to see uh what's been happening. I mean, like Cade is just every game got to work on the turnovers. The turnovers is they getting kind of crazy, but
yeah,
I mean, he's just showing up and showing out. It was great watching him go for 18 points in the third. It didn't matter who was guarding him, whether it was other twin, Tari Eason, the bear poker and Dylan
yeah.
Brooks. He was giving it, Jalen Green got him some too. And yeah, like you said, it's got him rolling. I love like the culture. Malik Beasley, that's probably been my favorite player on the team this year. I mean, the guy is coming off the bench and just hitting 4 or 5 threes a game. He's
Yeah,
stepping in the
just
starting
lighting
lineup
that
when he
up.
needs to,
Yeah,
scoring 15, 20. He's playing defense. I've seen a couple different times where he's made some game-winning plays, whether it's hitting an open three or clamping somebody up and stealing the ball before the clock hits zeros to secure a win. But yeah, it's great to see JB like just fighting for the team. That was something we didn't see a whole lot last year. Mighty Williams just be kind of standing there with his arms crossed. You got JB going back and forth with the Pacers coach. He's in the referee's ass,
yeah.
when he needs to be.
Amazing
He's
with the X's and O's. Just
yeah,
some plays he be drawing up is yeah,
yeah, yeah. So, I kind of hear, I guess he was part of coaching Harden and, kind of seeing how they use Harden, Cade kind of being used that way. And yeah, I think over the last couple of weeks, K was on TNT, with the crew last night doing this thing. So he had an interview on ESPN. They got people on ESPN, and they hardly know what the hell they're talking about. But I agree with them thinking K should be an MVP conversation. That's probably still far fetched, but I do agree with that take, just given what the record is. But I
he is. Yeah,
mean, he's showing up and showing out. And it's awesome. Like you got guys like Duran. I've kind of been iffy about him. He's been playing well. I do still feel like we might need to upgrade that center position in some capacity, but um, we a piece or two from locking up a 6 seed and really giving somebody a hard time depending on the matchup. In the playoffs, we can actually get there and do it.
yeah. No, I think you're spot on. Cade is playing at a like a ridiculous level right now. You watch him, he's just a maestro with the ball. He's putting up 20, basically 24, 25 a game, 10 assists, 6 rebounds, and just a real, just the plays he's making. You hop on Twitter during any game, he's heading to the basket, dunking on 2 or 3 people. He's hitting step back threes. He's like his game is very well polished, and he looks like he's making players play at his speed, which is what great and exceptional players do. They make you work and dictate off of what they want to do. Are they flying by you and you got to be scared of that? Are they slow and very meticulous, more like Cade? And that's what he's doing, and he's um really elevated his game. And I'm ecstatic to see this because we Pistons gave him the bag. He's been banged up over the years, and I think all that heading into this season, and it's amazing to see. You get the good cast around him, and Tobias Harris and Beasley, and you could really see how this can take off. And I think definitely see the picture that they're painting as far as what they want to do, how they want to play,
Yeah.
and all that being said, I agree with you. If we can stay away from the Cavs, stay away from the Celtics, and get pretty much anybody else in that first round, I feel pretty confident we can take them to the ropes.
Mhm. Like the Bucks, that's what I'd want. Like,
Yeah,
I think
the
that'd be
Bucks.
a
Yeah, and oddly enough, I don't think we've won one still, but for as good as we are, we're like 1-7 in our division, which is
Yeah,
very weird.
we can get back in the playoffs.
We got to circle back on them. So I think, uh, just in general, the Pistons are a few pieces away from being a legitimate power, like not maybe not championship team, but a real powerhouse force to be working reckoned with. And I think that's like I think you mentioned like a backup point guard to a degree. And I wouldn't mind getting kind of just a big body presence in the paint, help out Duran as far as that goes.
Yeah,
And those are the couple of pieces I think we could go get in the trade market. And I think we're playing that very smooth. I'm hearing our name circle around certain players, but we're not looking too thirsty for anybody. I think
yeah,
it's gonna be one of those things where we'll wake up February 3rd and boom, we went and landed whoever.
yeah.
Uh,
Lonzo,
yeah, big splash and just kind of develop and go from there. And
Devin Booker.
yeah, oh my God, if we get Devin Booker, I'm about to go get season tickets the rest of
Send everybody except for Cade. We used to have Cade and
the
Devin as mascot.
we got to Cade Devin Booker. We have to go sign Killian Hayes back.
Yes. Get over
No,
better deals, better minimums.
I mean, the crazy part is I don't think that's out of the complete question that we go get somebody like him. I've also heard of Kessler Walker and Colin Sexton. I've heard of
Yeah.
Brandon Ingram. I think there are players out there where um, there might not be a complete household name, but you take them and add them to this 500 team, and they can make them a real powerhouse, real difference maker. So, bro, overall, I'm just ecstatic. And, this is talking about ahead of schedule. This is like extremely ahead of schedule. We were both talking about 30 wins for this team. And, now it's looking like anything sub 40.
I'm gonna get 23rd
Yeah.
in January.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. So, yeah, no, I think the sky's the limit. I'm looking forward to hopefully they can, like you said, Cade's hanging around. He's on TNT, he's on ESPN. That's the league doing their job as far as getting his name out there. I think they see what they've been kind of trying to pigeonhole for a few years, screwed him over on the
Yeah.
rookie of the year. And it's night and day that he should have got that award if you extrapolate that award out 3 more years.
Without a
And
doubt.
yeah, and so I think that's kind of where we're hanging out at now. Is just we're getting some of the love. Even people like Gilbert Arenas, I see him kind of talking nice about us. He was talking greasy about Detroit last year.
Yeah.
Uh, and them and you just see teams or players, not players, even players are talking up about the squad. So bro, I think we're in a good spot, and I don't know when we no bad contracts. You know how NBA and NFL, you really are just one additional player away from being in the hunt, in the mix.
For sure.
You're, this would happen because he's on the team, but you're Giannis being pissed at the owner away from getting, Landon Giannis or somebody like that. Uh,
Yeah. 100%.
bro, it's great to see, man. I'm happy about it, and I really just want them back in the playoffs and making some noise. I mean, when's the last time we won a playoff series? 08, 09? You're like,
Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on.
I think this one just feels much better too, because like I don't know about you, I think I said this before, but like Pistons was the team you kind of like fell in love with initially as a
Yes.
Detroit sports fan. The Chucky Atkins, Antonio McDyess, Corliss Williamson, like Ben Wallace, like then they got the
Remember the
one
core.
seed,
Yeah, yeah,
traded for Rip Hamilton, got Rasheed Wallace. I mean, they were the ones that they brought us the last sports championship, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, I think that was the last one was in '04.
yeah. Freshman. Yeah,
Yeah, professional sports. So like, and you just hear people around the league like it's just better when the Pistons are playing better.
mm-hmm.
You kind of get tired of the small market talk and all that kind of shit that has been talked a little bit here and there when it comes to just how bad we were. But I'm glad that we finally got a GM and a coach that care
Yes.
and have put together a good team. And I'm excited to see what Trajan, because yeah, I think right now he kind of just chilling. We ain't bringing nobody in just to buy him out. Doing the other mess we thought was
They're
in
going
our
they're
favor.
going they're going to open an investigation about what he was doing, manipulating them books.
I think we
Because he was
should. I think we should. I think we should.
yeah, we should open, want to open a class action lawsuit as a Pistons
Yeah,
fan.
right. We should. Somebody needs to be sued because like
Yes.
last year was a joke.
Yeah. No, no,
Like
I agree. And it's
that 80 million spread out amongst the fan base.
yeah, yeah. No, if you've attended a Pistons game in the last 5, 7 years, you're old conversation. No, and it's crazy night and day. I even feel like the owner was a lot more in the mix last year. Maybe we're just hating on him a lot more. I kind of feel like he's maybe had his come to Jesus moment as far as, hey, I got to step out of this shit. Like even though he does have his picture still hanging up in the locker room, but he got his picture hanging up like he's Saddam Hussein or some shit. But it's just very odd from that standpoint. But bro, I'm just I'm hyped that we got this rolling, bro, and it feels good. And the league is better when the Pistons are good because we're a small market team, but we're a well known team. We have lots of rivals, and we have a unique fan base. Similar to the Detroit Lions. When they're good, it wakes somebody up, and we're a hungry fan base. And yeah, I mean, Metro Detroit is home of 5 million people, and the 5 million people really wakes up, and I think that this stadium comes alive.
Breeze.
Watching the games now, I mean, you could watch a game a year or two ago. You could it's maybe 4,000 people spread throughout that arena. You look at it now. Sada Baby sitting front row. Pedro Giovanni sitting front row. You got maybe a good 65, 70% of that stadium filled out. That's all
Yeah.
positive signs. Yeah. So I'm ecstatic, and no, I'm ready for them to make some noise, bro. It's gonna be fun to watch some meaningful Pistons basketball games.
Yeah. Because
These are meaningful to
yeah,
us as
for sure.
being what we've been through.
Yeah, no, and we're no longer that team that you can catch on, you can just
You
not
just
show up against on a
beat the
Tuesday
brakes
or
off.
Tuesday or
Yeah.
Wednesday. Because I mean, Trey Young got like 9, 10 points, 3 minutes left in the game. Some guys they able to take a little night off. That's not the case no more. And I just
No.
think with Cade, like when you player of his caliber, like caliber, he's just gonna he see blood in the water now.
Yeah.
Like, you can just see it like that. Like when they were kind of hanging around with Houston, third quarter started up, he was like, I'm about to shut shit
Yeah. He
down. And
woke
then you
up.
start to
Yeah.
see that, you get more of that confidence. The team, they start to follow suit as well. You got great vets. Tobias, his plus minus on the court, but besides being off the court, is like ridiculous. Beasley, Tim Hardaway got the
Yeah.
perfect blend of vets, and it's
Perfect
been
storm.
out
Yeah.
well.
Oh no, one and the last thing I'm gonna say is real quick, just because I just slipped my memory earlier. You mentioned Cade's turnovers.
Hmm.
I've seen a stat the other day that per usage, he's right in line with everybody else that has the ball that much. So it's not
Okay,
he's not flying off the charts compared to other people who have the ball about that much in their hand. So
I
that
got
that kind
you. It
that
comes with it to an
yeah,
extent,
it
yeah.
comes with just having that ball, 51% of the time. Yeah, you're
For
just
sure.
but
Yeah. This would be nice to get another, if he can play off ball a little bit more and kind of learn that, that'll help
hmm
him too going forward. So we'll see who they can bring in potentially to help out with that a little bit.
for sure. You got anything else for the people?
That's all I got. Be back with y'all. Yeah, going forward here, talk about the Pistons, sprinkling the Lions around